Becca here again from Willow Hill Designs, and I just wanted to add something to my week 44 of my Marguerite Miller's weekly collage planner challenge. When I was sharing in my page and the postage symbol that I had put on here on the vellum, I wasn't sure how long my video was running, and being that I do this on the iPad and I'm not using any other software to add anything on, I thought I would add this in another video. But I just thought I would share something that I thought was very beautiful and very interesting, and a story that my mom had passed on to us when my dad was in the war. Any correspondence or letters that she received were in V-mail, and from what she said, V-mail was a photocopied, or I guess like a mimeographed. Their letter was photocopied, and anything that might pertain to their location or anything that might be sensitive was always blocked out. Excuse me. And so this is how she always received her mail from him. And at one point, she had received a telegram stating that my dad was missing in action. And of course, this, was of great concern, because down the street there were a couple of young men that their parents had received telegrams that they had succumbed to their casualties, that they didn't make it. And so she was very worried, and my dad was taken prisoner of war, excuse me, in a German prison camp, one of the Stalags in Germany. He was in the European theater of war, and so she was very concerned and just needing to know, with 3 little children, needing to know that he would be all right in some way. And so she turned to her faith and she prayed. And she asked God to please let her receive a letter in his handwriting, his own handwriting, nothing that was censored in any way or photocopied, V-mail. And then she would know that he was all right, that he would be okay, and that he would make it home. And excuse me, sorry, my allergies. She continued to pray for this, and one day when my grandfather was visiting her, he had stopped at the mailbox, and he brought her in a letter to her, addressed to her, and his eyes were twinkling. I guess he was just so happy to know that a letter had come from my dad, excuse me, letting them know that he was, he thought, okay. And when my mom opened the letter was totally in his handwriting, had not been censored in any way, had not been photocopied. It was his handwriting in the letter. And she just knew in her heart then that he was going to be all right, that God had answered her prayers and was letting her know that he was going to be all right. And my father was one of 2 men that survived in his company, which, if I remember, it was over 100 men. And he was, when he was wounded in action and a prisoner of war, but he survived. He had dysentery. I mean, he really, he certainly had a difficult time, but he did survive. He did come home to be with us. And so I just thought that was such a beautiful story, and I thought I would share it for anyone that might be interested, or who had loved ones or relatives that may have been in war and understand what that's like. But I just thought, what a beautiful story, and how our faith really does mean so much to us, and it really sustains us through those difficult times. But anyway, this was my little add-on to my first video. So thanks again for following me on my journey, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.